Spain's future queen causes viral frenzy, here's why. They thought they'd seen everything. Royal grace, discipline, perfect composure. But this, no one expected. Spain's future queen has done something that's left the entire nation in disbelief. And once the first video hit social media, it was unstoppable. The world can't stop talking. And here's why. Princess Leonor of Spain, young, poised, and every bit the image of royalty, has quietly transformed into something more than a royal heir. She's become a phenomenon, the kind of figure that bridges generations, breaks old expectations, and pulls the monarchy into a completely new era. But this time, it's not about her royal duties, her military training, or her public speeches. This is different. This is personal. It all started when a simple, unplanned moment between Leonor and the Spanish public went viral. A moment so raw, so unexpected, that it made people feel connected to her in a way no royal has managed in decades. It wasn't an official event. It wasn't a polished royal appearance. It was a spontaneous encounter, one that revealed a side of Leonor Spain wasn't ready for. The setting, Madrid. A mild autumn evening. Crowds had gathered near the royal palace, hoping for a glimpse of the royal family after a private engagement. Cameras were rolling, but expectations were low. And then, it happened. Leonor, stepping away from the convoy, walked directly toward the people. No guards blocking the path, no rehearsed smiles. She looked free. And when she started greeting people, hugging children, laughing with the elderly, speaking softly in Spanish and Catalan, the crowd erupted. Phones rose like a sea of stars, capturing every second. Within hours, those clips flooded social media. Millions watched, shared, and commented. But what truly made it viral wasn't the act itself, it was what it symbolized. For years, the Spanish monarchy has walked a tightrope between tradition and modernity. Every move is calculated, every gesture analyzed. But Leonor shattered that invisible glass wall separating crown from country. In that moment, she wasn't a princess, she was one of them. The hashtag, Leonor es del Pueblo, Leonor belongs to the people, started trending worldwide. People wrote about how she looked nothing like the distant, unreachable royals of the past. Instead, she looked like the future, human, kind, and connected. But what came next only fueled the frenzy. The palace, initially silent, released a subtle, carefully worded statement the following day. It read, "Her Royal Highness is deeply grateful for the warmth of the Spanish people." Simple words. But behind those few lines, insiders revealed a quiet storm brewing. Some senior members of the royal household were reportedly unsettled. Too casual, one palace aide allegedly whispered to Spanish media. Too spontaneous. But others, especially among the younger royal staff, were thrilled. They called it a reawakening of Spain's royal image. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. Behind that seemingly innocent gesture was a growing confidence, a confidence Leonor had been developing for years. From the moment she entered the UWC Atlantic College in Wales, the so-called hippie Hogwarts, Leonor began learning what it truly meant to be a leader in the 21st century. Surrounded by students from across the world, she saw firsthand how authenticity connects more deeply than formality ever could. While other royals studied protocol, Leonor studied people, culture, empathy, leadership rooted in humility. She once confided to a classmate, "I want to serve my country, but I also want to understand it." That one sentence encapsulates everything that makes her so magnetic today. And now, she's proving it. Fast forward to her military academy years in Zaragoza. Where she could have kept a royal distance, she instead blended in with fellow cadets. Eating in the same canteen. Training under the same harsh conditions. Sleeping in the same barracks. Reports say she never once used her title to gain privilege. To her, leadership wasn't about standing above, but walking beside. That authenticity built trust, not just within the army, but across the nation. So when people saw her in Madrid, breaking protocol to hug a stranger's child, it wasn't seen as rebellion. It was seen as evolution. The monarchy, for the first time in a long time, looked alive. But then, another twist. A few days later, a short clip appeared online. Leonor, speaking privately with a group of young women, said something that sent ripples through Spain's royal circles: "The future of Spain isn't built by crowns. It's built by hearts." Those 12 words exploded across TikTok, Instagram, and X. Within hours, every media outlet had picked it up. The debate began. Was she subtly redefining monarchy? Was she sending a message to her parents, King Felipe and Queen Letizia, that the institution must evolve or fade? Or was it simply a heartfelt reflection from a young woman destined for power? The palace offered no clarification. And that silence only made the public more fascinated. Soon, opinion polls began circulating. Over 70% of young Spaniards said they admired Leonor's modern approach. Even those skeptical of monarchy admitted that she felt different, a breath of fresh air in an institution often seen as outdated. But not everyone was pleased. Traditionalists feared her growing independence. Some conservative commentators called her words too bold. "She must remember," one wrote, "that the crown is not about personal expression, it's about service." Yet, for millions, that was service. Being human. Being real. As the frenzy spread globally, foreign media picked up the story. British tabloids called her Europe's most relatable royal. French outlets dubbed her La Reina del Pueblo, the people's queen. Even American networks began comparing her to Princess Diana, noting how Leonor's empathy and warmth echoed that same magic that once captivated the world. And it didn't stop there. Days later, at an event honoring Spanish youth achievement, Leonor was asked to give an unscripted speech. She paused, smiled, and spoke from the heart. "I am learning," she said, "that to represent a nation is not to live above it, but within it." The hall erupted. The applause lasted nearly a minute. And the clip, you guessed it, viral again. That moment cemented her transformation, from a shy teenager into a national symbol of hope. Behind closed doors, Queen Letizia was said to be proud, though cautious. She knows what it means to face public adoration, and public scrutiny. As a former journalist, she has walked that line herself. Insiders claim she's guiding Leonor quietly, helping her balance empathy with protocol. King Felipe, meanwhile, reportedly sees his daughter's rising influence as both a challenge and a triumph. He once said, "Leonor will inherit not just a crown, but a conversation." And that's exactly what's happening. Every move Leonor makes now shapes that conversation. Her every gesture analyzed, her every word dissected. Yet, somehow, she manages to stay grounded, radiating sincerity in a world that rewards performance. In private moments, she's said to spend time reading Spanish literature, walking her dogs, and calling her younger sister, Sofia, almost every night. The bond between the two is inseparable, deeply humanizing for people who often see royals as distant. But the question that lingers, the one that keeps the frenzy alive, is simple: what kind of queen will Leonor become? Will she uphold tradition, or redefine it entirely? Every new appearance seems to suggest the latter. She's not rejecting the monarchy, she's reimagining it. One small act at a time. And maybe, just maybe, that's exactly what Spain needs. In a world growing skeptical of privilege, Leonor's approach feels revolutionary. She's not hiding behind walls of gold. She's reaching through them. She's showing that power doesn't have to be cold, and that royalty can be relatable. As Spain watches, divided between old and new, one truth remains undeniable: Princess Leonor has captured not just attention, but hearts. She stands at a crossroads of history. One foot in the past, one firmly in the future. And though no one can predict what comes next, one thing is certain: whatever she does, the world will be watching. Because Spain's future queen has already done the impossible. She's made monarchy feel human again. And that is why the frenzy won't fade anytime soon.